Bueno, mis queridos Nakamas, aquí la tercera y última entrevista que va a estar esta semana o que vamos a presentarte aquí esta semana en Los Sonidos del Grand Line, que es la directora Emma Sullivan de los episodios 3 y 4 de live action de One Piece, hecha por Screen Run también, y esperemos que la disfrutes tanto como nosotros. Así que vamos a la entrevista y recuerda darle like y suscribirte para no perderte nada de nuestro contenido.
What we have to do is we have to find a grounded approach, and we have to find an emotionally real approach to it. And we have to kind of tap into these characters and feel like what makes us relate as an audience to them. And I think we can all relate to just following our dreams and the positivity of it.
So let's start with the
Francesco Cacciatore.
So my first question, and maybe that's one you've heard already, is how familiar were you with One Piece before being called to work on live action?
Siempre les hacen esa pregunta. Steven Maeda, Mark Jobs, Matt Owens,
what I found
Emma
out
Sullivan.
when I spoke to my son about it was that he had read the whole thing in lockdown. So when I said to him there was a show coming up about a rubber pirate, he was like,
adivinen quién más.
And that reaction,
su hijo es bien fan de One Piece.
Realize, oh, this is really big. This is really big. So, and then all my nephews are huge fans. So I've been told in no uncertain terms that I was not allowed to mess it up.
Le pusieron mucha presión desde el principio.
And then I guess my follow-up question is how hard it was to catch up with such a vast lore and such a long-running series. I'm sure your nephews and son helped you, but was it hard?
It is hard, and obviously I have to understand.
Lalo Garces Marco el Fénix, cabrón.
But we had
¿A poco?
Matt Owens and Steve Maeder,
no me lo imagino.
Huge One Piece fans as our showrunners, and obviously, you know, Oda's looked at the scripts, and I just went back to the manga. So I just kind of had to look at how he writes, how he draws, his amazing frames, and I love things like the front pages. They always have these beautiful images of all the straw hats hanging out together, and then you've got fan questions at the back. So, you know, just absorb as much as I can. I mean, I wouldn't test me on 1,000 chapters though.
Well, there's more than that. But yeah.
Todos le rehuyen a los 1000, ¿no?
First foray into large-scale TV productions.
Aukigi el Pepe Vilchis. Ay, ¿a poco
season 12, if I'm not mistaken. But how would you say your experience with One Piece compares to that?
Very simply put, it's bigger. It's just bigger. I mean, the world of One Piece is amazing. Our sets.
Es mucho más grande One Piece que lo que puedan imaginar.
Which was wonderful. Huge. The ships are like life size. When I saw the Baratier, I was very jealous that I wasn't shooting on that. But it's just a massive set, massive show, massive IP, and I think what's helpful is that I've dealt with IP that means a lot to its fans before. And so you know that you have to get it right, that there are a lot of people who are so passionate about One Piece that you want to make sure that they feel like you've done it justice, as well as Oda, obviously.
Speaking of the episodes that you have directed, these were the 2 episodes in which Usopp joins the crew. Now, this character really stands out among
Usopp, de aquí está hablando de Usopp, ¿no?
Of the shonen genre to which One Piece belongs to, right? Because Usopp is a liar, he's a coward, and yet he captivated fans and became actually one of the most popular One Piece characters. So, what do you think of Usopp, and what traits of the character do you try to highlight in your episodes?
I think with Usopp, it's the loyalty. You know, he has huge loyalty to Kaya. And also we've got this backstory of what happened to him and why he wants to be a pirate and why he wants to go out and
Rayleigh retoma el mismo,
you know, to
el señor Bills, okay.
Gang. And I think you know, it's with the whole show, it's all about your dreams. It's all about Usopp's dream is to go out and be a brave warrior of the seas. And Luffy's there to make everybody feel like they should follow their dreams. So I think with Usopp, he's got such a big heart, and he's so inventive and so creative, and his stories are so wonderful, and he's brave even when he's terrified, and you can't help but like that. Plus, the actor Jacob is lovely.
The next question again is one that you've probably heard a lot, and you're gonna hear a lot more, I think, from fans especially, which is how much freedom did the directors and the writers had to change the original story?
Only as much as Oda gave us, because everything went through Oda.
Okay.
So, for example, I had a scene where Quina and young Zoro are fighting, and we shot that originally. And Oda watched it, and he said, "I don't want the kendo masks on them. We want it reshot." So we went back to Cape Town, and we shot it again. And it was better.
Ojito, Ojito, es interesante ese dato, Tuvieron que volver a filmar la escena de Quina y de Zoro porque no quería las máscaras de Kendo el buen Oda. Las máscaras estas, ¿no? Que usan en los torneos.
Everything goes through him. So, it's incredibly creative IP. So you're constantly trying to do justice, but, find the most beautiful visual way to tell his stories. But at the same time, you have to go within the parameters of the show.
Besides the one that you just described, did you have a lot of interaction with Oda? And if so, what kind of insight were you able to gather from him and then bring into your own episodes?
Sadly, I didn't get to meet him. But Matt Owens is chatting to him. So I would still like to meet him. So if he would like me to come to Japan, I'm free.
Ojalá sí vaya, ojalá sí la conozca.
Part of One Piece, right? In that early part, One Piece had a very strong comedy element, and the characters in the manga, they were basically walking and talking gags at times, right? Now, in the live action, the comedy is not completely gone, of course, but the characters and the story are a lot more serious.
Claro.
Now, for your episodes, how involved were you in setting this different tone? How much of your input went into this different tone, into moving away from the comedy? And why do you think that the more serious element took precedent?
I think a lot of that was decided before I arrived. With the scripts are written by the showrunners, Matt and Steve. But to be fair, I really latch on to any humor that I find, because I think it keeps things bubbling along. And I think there is quite a lot of humor in my episodes. It's not an outright comedy, but I love the fact that Zorro has no sense of direction. He's badass, but he doesn't know which way he's going. And he's got great
one-liners. A todos les encanta que no sepa direccionarse Zorro, ¿no?
The tone, but obviously I get the scripts that I'm given and then I interpret them tonally to what it should be. And I think hopefully, even though we've got these kind of thrilling horror elements in mind, we do puncture it with humor and the lightness of tone.
Yes, and in fact, for your episodes, you the tone is a little horror-y, because the big confrontation with the Black Cat pirates, which in the original story happens in the open, but in your episode it all happens inside it's almost like a haunted mansion setting, right?
A lot of fun. I mean, an amazing sets that we got to play with. Huge building. But yeah, I mean, that's always fun to kind of use the camera to kind of create tension and anticipation, and the reveals. It's super fun as a genre kind of project for a director.
The live action anime genre is a very tricky one, as evidenced by the responses to the Death Note movie, the Cowboy Bebop show. So did you feel any kind of reservations about exploring this genre when you were approached for this? And if so, how did you overcome them?
I've watched a few, the anime and lots of different anime. I mean, I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan, but
Studio Ghibli le gusta mucho.
Make actors do those big actions and faces that we can get in the anime. So it wouldn't work. it's just so, that is obviously a discussion we have. We can't have, the faces don't get that big, and it would be really awkward, and I think it would throw everybody out of the story. So I think what we have to do is we had to find a grounded approach, and we have to find an emotionally real approach to it, and we have to kind of tap into these characters and feel like what makes us relate as an audience to them. And I think we can all relate to just following our dreams, and the positivity of it is key, especially now in our times. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, it does. And I have to say that from what I have seen, you have succeeded in that, because yes, grounded is exactly the word I would have used, because
Descansa,
as
Andreita,
a
buenas
huge
noches.
One Piece fan watching the show, I was surprised by how real the characters felt. I did not expect that to work with real people, but now I am seeing real people into the story. And even if it's a different story, because of course, as you said, you cannot have like real people do the things that anime characters do, it works in that way. So job well done.
We tried our best. We really, really tried our best. We just hope everybody likes it.
Oh yeah, the most common feedback that I've seen is that the show really transmits your passion and how devoted you were to the source material. So yes, hopefully as many fans as possible share their opinion with us.
Uf. Fíjate que no me quiero ir bien hater. Me gustó mucho esta entrevista. Creo que va más al grano de lo que se trabajó en el live action, de cómo trabajaron la parte de la comedia, de cómo se trabajaron ciertas cositas, de cómo se dieron ciertos cambios. Me parece bastante interesante esta entrevista, un poquito más centrada en el live action, más que en lo general. Pero bueno, dime tú, ¿cuál ha sido tu entrevista favorita? ¿Qué te pareció esta? ¿Te ha cumplido tus expectativas el live action? ¿Esperas una segunda temporada? Y bueno, recuerda suscribirte, dejar tu like y seguirnos en todas nuestras redes para no perderte nada del mundo de One Piece. Y chao, chao.